A very good evening to you. Welcome to the West Ham Voice. 2 shows in a day. I don't do a show all week, and all of a sudden on a Wednesday, you get 2 for the price of 1. I hope you're all doing well. Many of you are looking forward to the Scotland game. By the time this goes out, the Scotland game probably be halfway through by now. So good luck to Scotland. It's a real quick update, really, because there are a couple of stories. Many of you may have seen that the show I did this morning when I talked about the likes of Jared Bowen being linked to Newcastle for £120 million. And I talked about how annoying some transfer stories get and how you can get carried away if you really believe everything that you read in social media columns, etc. Well, it's happened again, which is why I thought I'd put out a bit of a quick transfer show going out tonight. So, by the way, if you're new to the channel, first time you're watching this channel, please do hit the like button and do become a subscriber. So got that out of the way. So, as the transfer window gets into gear, the stories just keep on coming. And as I talked about, in this morning's show, how some of them are quite ludicrous, how some of them are quite annoying, and they sort of get under your skin a little bit, don't they? So let's deal with the latest ridiculous news that broke out earlier on Wednesday afternoon. Now, apparently, the Saudis are preparing bids for 2 of our star players. The Saudis are prepared to raid West Ham United of our talented midfielders, Lucas Paqueta and Mohamed Kudus. Yep, not one or the other, but both. So let's dig a little deeper, shall we? But not too deep, because life is too short for stories like this. The stories go, Al Nassr are apparently interested in signing Lucas Paqueta. And even though they're aware of the betting charges brought by the FA against the player, they're reported to still be open for a transfer. Right. Let's get that sorted, shall we? Easy done. Because as it stands, I doubt any transfer of the player would be sanctioned whilst these charges are looming over him. So it really does sound like a non-starter right from the off. And anyway, I doubt very much that Lucas Paqueta, if he wasn't to be sanctioned from playing even out there, I dare say there might be an interest and he might go out to Saudi to escape any ban. But this is a worldwide ban if it happens, so he won't escape that. So let's park that and get that out of the way. And then, of course, apparently, West Ham United are going to face a tough battle to keep Mohamed Kudus at West Ham next season, because Al Ittihad are rumoured to want him as well. So we're going to be done, aren't we? I mean, it's going to be absolute nightmare that we're going to lose all our best players to the Saudi League in this summer transfer window. Again, I've been told both stories, actually, absolutely no truth. That whole load of hogwash. This is just speculation, as was the story that I talked about this morning with Jared Bowen potentially going to Newcastle United in a 120 million pound deal. It's all rubbish, and we're going to have to get used to this throughout the summer transfer window. And I think there's one way of doing it: slap a 250 million pound price tag on each player, on Paqueta and on Kudus. Now, if one of these teams turns around and goes, money's no object, we'll pay you 250 million, take it. Because 250 million, let's say for argument's sake, 250 million on each player, there's 500 million in your coffers, pays off the club's debts, and then you can still go in and buy a whole new squad with a lot of the money and still pocket some of that money, afterwards. It's ridiculous, these stories, but we're going to have to get used to it, and we're going to have to just laugh it off and treat them for what they are: garbage. Right. What about some other stories? Well, there's a rumor that now we're apparently in bidding for Wilfried Zaha. Look, we know that Zaha was offered to West Ham United in January on a loan, and David Moyes turned it down. It's been confirmed that Zaha was actually interested in coming back to the Premier League, and there's still an interest in the player wanting to return. Now, apparently, We've made an offer of £5.9 million, but the Turkish club want which is about 7 million euros. But the Turkish club wants something nearer to £8.4 million, which is near to 10 million euros. Look, I've asked about this, and I've had it corroborated. It's been confirmed that we definitely did go in for Zaha in January. Could a deal be done? I don't believe yet we've actually approached the Turkish club with a bid, but I can start seeing the sense in doing so, because as much as I've kind of said, look, I'd much rather go for a younger player on the left side, etc. Zaha's still got a lot to offer. But when you think that who we might be selling at a similar age, then a lot of it starts to make sense, because all of a sudden, if you do allow Danny Ings to go, they're roughly about the same age. They're both 31 at the moment. Ings turns 32 in July. I think Zaha turns 32 in November. If Southampton are really interested in purchasing Danny Ings for £6 million to go back to the Saints, then you start to think to yourself, well, you know what? This might not be such a bad deal after all. You allow Ings to go and you bring Zaha in. Now, what about their stats, their details? Look, last season for Galatasaray, Zaha made 42 appearances. He scored 10 goals with 5 assists. So that's pretty decent return. In all the appearances he made for Palace, he made 458 appearances, netted 90 goals with 62 assists. So overall, Palace and his time at Galatasaray, he's made 500 senior appearances overall. He's averaged a goal every 5 games, which considering he's not a striker, he's a sort of left-sided attacking player, that's pretty good. And now you look at Danny Ings' career. Well, he is an out-and-out striker. 389 senior appearances in total, 119 goals with 38 assists. So it's a better margin, 1 in every 3 games that he scored, Danny Ings. But you could see that Zaha's number of assists almost double the number that Ings has created. So Zaha does have something to offer. I think he clearly does. I would prefer that we go out for a younger player out on the left, and I think that's still a possibility. Really, Zaha is whether both Lopetegui and Steidem believe he's worth having. If we do get someone like Zaha for his experience, etc., that doesn't stop us still going out to buy a striker, which I've been told again today, the priority is striker and at least 1 centre-back, although there's a preference for 2 should a Gerd leave. And the latest on that is we're still open to offers on a Gerd, but I've been told, take with a pinch of salt, the Max Kilman stories at the moment. If we sell a Gerd for 35 million pounds, which many fans believe we won't get, but if we sell him for that sort of money, then going in for someone like Kilman at 45 million would be worthwhile. But we've all heard, apparently we have limited funds. There's only roughly about 40 million pounds as a starter, and then all the rest of the money has got to be made up from player sales. So if we get money, I did this show the other day where we talked about, how many players might go. If we get, 15 million for Downs, 30 odd million for a Gerd, another 6 million for Ings, more money for various other players, etc. That would soon stack up and make about 100 odd million pounds on player sales, plus the 40, including the 40 million pounds that we have available as a base. So we're going to have, I've said this before, give or take about 120 million pounds available based on player sales. But I don't know if we're going to go out and buy ourselves a 45 million pound centre-back. It's possible, but I was told we're looking at other alternatives, other prospects. So the update for tonight is that the Saudis are raiding West Ham United. Al Nassr want Paqueta, and Al Ittihad want Mohamed Kudus. I've said, great, slap a 250 million pound price tag on each. And if they come up and go, yeah, no problem, we'll take him. Great, do it. And a swap, not a swap deal, but if Danny Ings is leaving the club, 6 million to Southampton, then it kind of would make sense to bring Zaha in, who's still got a lot to offer. I've been told that the 5.9 million offer hasn't officially happened, but that's apparently what we're prepared to pay, with the Turkish club wanting 8.4 million. Watch out for more bullet updates as they come up. I'm sure that there'll be plenty I can talk about, but that's the latest so far. That's the Saudis are raiding us, and we're going to be left with no one. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again pretty soon.